Okay, so let's start with our pie crust. All right, so in a previous video, I showed you how to make this pie dough. So I'm going to use this paper when we bake. So I'm going to go ahead and flour our surface, flour everything. So we're going to use this paper, and it will also help us to transfer it over to the pie pan. All right, so we're going to roll this slowly, then rotate. Keep rotating. Rotate. If you find that this is not going smoothly, you can use the leftover flour to flour the surface. If you find that it's sticking to the paper, you can pull back like so. Add just a little bit of flour. Even it out. Repeat on the other side. So yeah, it helps it to move a little bit better. So we want this to be about 1/8 of an inch. Make sure it's even. It doesn't matter if it goes over the edge, just keep rolling. Okay, that looks pretty good. Now we're going to grab a pan and we're going to use the paper. Try to even it out. Press it down into the pan. Now, why am I using the paper? I have a cafe here in Japan, and it makes it a lot easier to remove it from the pan whenever we have our customers come in. So we want to serve a nice looking piece of pie, and we don't have to worry about it sticking to the pan. So this paper really helps. Make sure your paper is safe enough for a high temperature when baking. So you need to be careful with that. Regular baking paper. All right, so from here we're going to trim our edges. We're going to trim our edges, and we're going to shape our pie pan. Shape it into our pie pan. All right, so we'll come back for that. Okay, so next we're going to trim our pie sheet and then shape our edges here. All right, so I'm just going to trim this just a little bit. Now you can freeze these. If you have a lot of scraps left over, just put them all together and you can add them up and make another pie sheet later on. So that's what I tend to do with these. If you find that you're a little thin in some areas, You can also take pieces from your pie sheet pieces and fill in some spaces if you need to. All right, so what I'm going to do is just roll this to the edge here. Now you can roll this under or over. I like to do it over. So everyone has their own little style for their pie crust. This is how I like to do mine. All right, so we're just going to go around the edges here. If you find that your paper is stuck, just lift this out slowly and then place the pie sheet back down. So we're just going to keep rolling around. Press it down a little bit. Trim that just a little bit more. Now this pie pan that I'm using is about 25 centimeters. You can use a metal pie pan or ceramic. It's whatever is your choice. All right, so from here, I have my edges. I'm gonna press the sides in just a little bit. Press it down. I'm going to pinch just a little bit here to try to even it out the best I can. Okay, now this is your preference. This is my style. I like to use my index finger and just press here. So I'm using my thumb here so that it doesn't roll over the edge. And I just follow along the edge here like that. So this is my style. You can do any style you wish for this. This is mine. It works pretty fast, just following the edge around like so. If you need to, you can press down here. It starts puffing out a little bit. So just keep pressing around. If you have to, you can go around one more time. This looks almost there. I'm going to shape it just a little bit more. Now you can also do a pinch like this, if you wish. Give it a little bit more shape. Now I've preheated my oven to 220 degrees Celsius, and I set the timer for 10 minutes. So we're going to do a pre-bake on this crust for about 10 minutes. All right, so that's my shape. Now I'm going to trim the paper. So just follow the edge. Okay, now we need to use a fork and make some holes in the bottom. This will keep the crust from puffing up. Okay, so I'm going to place this in the refrigerator for just a few minutes. Let it harden just a little bit. Then I will place these cooking beads. You can use beans if you don't have these. These are made out of aluminum, and I keep them in this paper and I just transfer them into the pie pan. So I'll show you how to do that next. Okay, just to show you, I have some leftover scraps here from previous pies. So I just keep this is baking paper, and these are previous pieces. So I just add it to the bunch, fold it back up. Wrap it in the foil. And then place it back in the freezer. Okay, so our pie sheet has rested in the fridge. It's hardened just a little bit. So now I'm going to take some baking paper, crumble this. This will help to fit a little bit easier in the pie pan. Fold it. Fold. This will give us our center. And also help you to shape. So let the edges fall over the sides, like so. Now don't press too hard. You don't want it to stick. So this is just barely fit around the pie. Okay, now I'm going to take, these are my beads. I'm going to place those in here. Press them up the sides just a little bit. Now you want to make sure you have some beads here. If you do not, this will burn. So you want to make sure your pie is completely covered on the bottom. All right, so I have some beads up the sides. My paper is covering my edges here. And now I will place this in the oven for about 10 minutes at 220 degrees Celsius. Okay, so we have our pre-baked pie crust. So be real careful when you remove this. Just go very slowly. Peel the paper back. Grab the corners here. And slowly lift out, just like so. So as you can see, we're baked pretty well. You don't want a real color in the bottom, just lightly cooked in the bottom is what you're looking for.
Hey, Douglas here. I'd like to thank everyone for watching today. If you like this video, please click on the subscribe button, hit like, and leave a comment below. If you have any special requests for a future recipe video, then send your requests to douglasbearskitchen@gmail.com. Thanks, and see you next time.